In order to get your real and transformative financial independence number, you have to do the work and go line by line, detailing not only what your ideal year will include, but also the things that you want to give, what you want to experience, what you want to learn, what you want to create, who you want to impact, and what you want to remain after you are gone. Today, we're going to talk about why this is so critical and all of the benefits that you get once you've completed it. Most people, if you ask them about a financial goal, they will say things like, oh, I want to make 6 figures or $1 million or a trillionaire. But these numbers are not motivating by themselves. What do we need? We need the real number, which is the key to everything. We're going to talk about it right now. So the first thing that it's going to do for you when you get this is it's going to give you a real target, which opens up 3 key points. Number 1, you don't undershoot, right? Meaning that you don't set a goal and then realize that you were missing what you actually wanted, or that your goal was going to bring you nowhere near the ideal lifestyle that you had dreamed up. Number 2, you don't overshoot, meaning you aren't chasing some arbitrary number for the rest of your life and missing out on valuable time to actually live the way that you want. So I'm all for big achievement, but one thing I know for certain is that life is not promised. So any time and energy that's being pulled away from your purpose and your ideal life is not time well spent, even if it does generate more money. So number 3, this enables you to solve for X. Now, forgive me in advance for those of you that hate math and are recovering addicts from having to deal with algebra, but just bear with me for a second. If I know what I'm going after in specific detail and I know my current position, then I've literally got everything I need, because the variable can only be so many things, right? And now I know what to solve for, right? Just a quick example. So if I want 10 as my answer, right? And I know I'm starting with 2, right? So 2 plus something has to equal 10. Now the something, it's very, very clear what that has to be, right? Again, this leads into the next point, right? Because this is going to expand your thinking by forcing you to ask the right questions in order to get the result, right? So remember that questions are the answers. So the size of your answer is determined by the size of your question, right? So if I come up with a big answer, then I have to start asking bigger questions. And once I start asking bigger questions, then I raise my standard for myself, right? Now, then also the people around me begin to shift to match the size of my questions, right? Now I begin Googling and YouTubing different things because of the size of my questions. And I start magnetizing and attracting the people and situations that are at that level, right? Now, the next critical benefit is a sneaky one, but it sheds light on your purpose, right? How does it do this? Because once you've gone through and written down each line item of what you want, and then gone ahead and gotten a specific dollar amount per month for that item, you are actually left with a pretty important list of the things that are actually important to you, right? You wrote these things down for a reason. Something in there made you happy. Something made you smile. Something makes you excited. And this shows you the things that actually matter, right? And it gives you an indication of what you'll want your legacy to be. Right. Lastly, if you look at this list and you can now start to think creatively about getting the lifestyle that you want without even actually having to have money, right? This is next level stuff. So the key concept here is access versus ownership, right? So sometimes one is more important than the other, and you have to be aware of the difference, right? It's just a quick example. Let's say that my item is to make sure that I can fly for vacation in a private jet so that my wife's legs won't be cramped up and that we can lay down for the trip, and to also eliminate all of the hassle of getting on a plane with layovers. Ask me how I know. Another story for another day. Now, I want to make sure I plan out how much is this going to cost, right, to ensure that I can afford it, right? In detail, I'm going to look up the actual trip, or I'm going to look up the actual jet in order to own it, right? But the moment that I do that, I'm immediately going to go to the next step and put on my creative hat, right? And then ask the question, again, a large question about how can I access the private jet without money, right? Now, once you ask that question, then the answers begin to flow. And I can start to come up with ideas such as adding value to a private jet company, or even creating my own private jet company where I can offer the service to other people while utilizing it for free myself, right? Just one small idea. So once you do this, the numbers can start to change dramatically, making your far off dream even more standardized and attainable, right? I hope that you are ready to roll and to get working on your personal number and your personal list, right? And if you want to know how to put the numbers together and to identify your own, drop a comment and I will record another video going through the exact process, right? Now, but with what we've gone through so far, you should have what you need to just start. Get that stuff down, right? Carve out some time, sit down and do it, right? Now, some people benefit from, hey, I'm not going to carve out the time myself if I do it, but if I can join in with some other people, some other like-minded individuals, and we can carve out some time and we can go through together. So I want you to get on the waiting list for my next workshop and webinar where we'll be doing exactly that, right? Now, either way, what I do believe is that once you've identified your target dream lifestyle, then you can be specific about pursuing it and asking for it. And you can begin your path towards those line items by leveraging other people's money to get there. This is one of the big points of this channel, is to tell you that the money is out there, right? In the form of business credit, in the form of grants, in the form of government contracts, all of these things, right? And the key thing that I keep saying and I will keep saying is life is too short to play around with this. Right, so we have to craft our own story, and in order to do so, we have to be intentional. So get started on this today. You might find it surprising that the number that you need to live your ideal lifestyle, it might not be as big as you thought. Or you might even realize that you've been spinning your wheels chasing things when your ideal life was right in front of you. Maybe you didn't even need more in order to actually get it, right? So if you want to access the exact document that I use to come up with these calculations, I will drop the link in the description and you can check it out. So I cannot wait to see what comes of this exercise for you, and I am going to see you in the next one. Peace.